Donald Trump right now is at the apex of his power. He's more popular than ever. His ideology is more popular than ever. And I think it's in large part because people were comparing the results of Biden and Trump won and saying, we're going back to Trump, and this was a lot better than what we got under Joe Biden. So I think a lot of his legacy, frankly, is going to be bookended by the fact that he and Obama gave us Trump the first time, and then he gave us Trump 2.0, stronger than ever. Joe Biden made some promises that he was going to be an honest president. He wasn't. That he was going to be a moderate president. He wasn't. And that he was going to try to restore the soul of the nation. I don't think anybody believes that he did that. And on the way out the door, oh, by the way, he's pardoning his son retroactively for anything and everything going back a number of years. That did not sit well with the American people. So when you consider the inflation, Afghanistan, border, the pardons, and really Joe Biden not living up to what he said he was going to be, I think it's going to be hard for him to make a comeback in the near term.
So, yeah, I'm really proud, actually, of the work Joe Biden did for our country.
I got to say, I'm on my way to a ball. I think Paul's already been out to one already. I'd like to get into whatever he's drinking and the description of the Joe Biden presidency.
Some of that good Kentucky bourbon you gave
if everything you said was true, he should have had no trouble getting reelected, and he should not have a 34% approval rating. The truth is, on so many issues, he failed. And not only did he fail, but he and his people were dishonest with the American people about it, telling us the border is secure when it's not, telling us that the Afghanistan pullout was a wonderful accomplishment, and most damagingly last year, telling us that he was fit for office when clearly he was not. And the biggest cover-up in modern political history took place on his watch, and I guess at the direction of him and his top people. That is going to live with him for a very, very long time. Even Democrats now admit that Joe Biden was not with it, and they all went along with it too, and they have no one to blame but themselves.
Damn, I feel like it's a great day to be optimistic. I don't know if you guys sense it. I don't know. I sensed it since this morning that it feels like, it's a good day today. I wonder why. I wonder what today is. Oh yeah, it's Donald Trump's inauguration day. As you saw from the intro, Joe Biden and the Democrats are at the weakest point I ever seen them in my young 28 years of life, right? And I'm gonna go through some clips, some videos to Donald Trump's pre-inauguration rally, and it just shows the strength of his popularity. It just shows that from versus how Donald Trump started in 2016 to how it's essentially his last final dance, the last dance, 2025. It's a night and day difference with the public sentiment of Donald Trump's administration and Joe Biden's, right? Scott Jennings made some good points. Obama was the reason that Trump won 2016, and Obama's the reason that Donald Trump won 2016, and also Joe Biden is the reason that Donald Trump's at the peak of his popularity in current political picture. From here, let's go back. TikTok, right? TikTok got banned, remember, guys, for about 6 hours. And then Trump said, hey, I might extend it. And TikTok felt comfortable keeping their servers up and giving access to their U.S. users. Now, personally, I don't use TikTok. My wife uses TikTok. She likes TikTok a lot. But in my eyes, this only solidified Gen Z's support for Donald Trump. They're like, oh, the app that Gen Z loves so much was also the voting constituency that supported Donald Trump at a majority, which I'm going to give you all that information right now. But first, I want to give you a sneak peek of how it was pre-inauguration rally, how many people were outside from a content creator that I'm going to show you in this clip. And on the second clip, I'll show you the sentiments that's changing around Donald Trump, where Snoop Dogg is allegedly, I think he already performed at his rallies, and how the left is having a mental breakdown over the fact that these rappers are coming out more publicly in supporting Trump, from Snoop Dogg to Rick Ross to Nelly, supporting Donald Trump. And the left can't handle it. I'll show you these two clips, and then we'll run it back and see more about the inauguration rally. Let's take a look.
Damn, I messed up. So they just told me this line is 9 blocks long. Cop just told me he's never seen anything like it. All these people are not gonna make it. Hi.
I follow you. I just watched your whole video from downtown last night.
Oh shit, cool.
Yes, welcome to Washington, D.C.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Lisa. I'm from Northern New York.
Hi, Lisa.
This is a good guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Photo. Photo. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Let's go. Hey, go Trump.
Yeah,
Hey,
good Trump.
hey.
So they were just saying you're probably not going to
We
get
know
in.
that.
Yeah.
We don't care.
You don't care.
We're all here going. We know we're not getting in. We have met people from all over the world. We're having a great time.
Awesome. I'm
Yeah,
glad you
yeah,
enjoyed
yeah,
yourself.
great.
Enjoy. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to hang out in the line for now, and we'll see what happens.
I will add this. The problem with what Snoop has done is, I was in the war room in 2020, and Snoop was perpetuating a lot of disinformation. And these kinds of moves are like a thorn in the side of the Democratic Party, because he's got millions and millions of people who follow him, and he's normalizing Donald Trump in a way that's hard for Democrats to walk back with his followers. And so he's got an ability, Snoop, to speak to sort of real voters and appeal to real voters in a way the Democratic Party doesn't. He stands in the way of that, continues to perpetuate these disinformation, misinformation about Donald Trump. And again, it really confounds the party.
So you saw from the clip, there was a CNN guest. She blamed Snoop Dogg for why Democrats struggle to him normalizing Donald Trump. And how I saw her commentary when she was talking about Snoop Dogg and all these celebrities, I kept thinking the reason why this is a thorn to the Democratic side is that the Democrats, it makes it harder for the Democrats to demonize Donald Trump. That's how I took it. It's not about normalizing Donald Trump. Donald Trump's already normal. We know from the election, Donald Trump's the most popular president right now in current political history right now. Other than Joe Biden. And we saw how that worked out for people. And you constantly trying to demonize the man as a threat to democracy. Yet democracy, here he is. Both on the standards that the Democrats love to judge presidents and the current standard, right? And it bothers, I think it bothers the left that a poll came out. The left is now the more unpopular worldwide at any time since the Cold War report. Left-wingers, you're the most unpopular you have been since the Cold War. And you guys are out here protesting. Who are you protesting for? For yourselves? Right? Nelly responds to backlash after overperforming at Trump's inauguration. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. Doesn't matter who's in it. The same way our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country, have to go to war and have to put their lives on the line for whoever's in office. So if they can put their lives on the line for whoever's in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever's in office. I would ask critics to show me where he is a white supremacist. Look what's going on with the Democrats. Y'all losing y'all narrative, right? You got Bakari Sellers crying on CNN about how, oh my God, we have a normalcy, a supremacy. And then he gets beat over the head by Scott Jennings. I'm going to show you the video. You got AOC, right? Look, you think this kind of rhetoric is going to work when you're the most unpopular you've ever been since the Cold War, leftists? Like, who are you protesting for? You only protesting for yourselves. And this one thing I was always saying about socialists, leftists, they only care about gaining power. They don't really care about solving your problems. They virtue signal like they're trying to solve problems, but that's not the reality. They just want to be in charge. That's the left. The left always like to say, oh, Republicans are authoritarians. Who's more authoritarian? People who want to keep people from expressing ideas they don't like, or people who's willing to debate people they don't like? Who sounds more like the authoritarian? Democrats. Democratic women are some of the most authoritarian people you'll ever meet in your life. If you look at the surveys, if you look at the stats, they're the most likely to disassociate with you, mock you, unfriend you based on your politics, based on the fact that you disagree with them. You got Democratic women out here saying that they won't date men because of who they voted for. Make it make sense? But Republicans, it's 21st century fascism, says AOC. Only her and her people think that, right? And I find it hypocritical, right? And this is something that even Hakeem Jeffries admitted. Jeffries refused to say if Democrats had responsibility to reveal Biden's cognitive decline, right? What I saw behind closed doors was a president who was working hard, Jeffries claimed. Working hard to read, working hard to make a coherent sentence, working hard to destroy our country, Hakeem Jeffries, and you wonder why y'all lost power. Y'all can't take accountability for nothing. This is the number one reason why I think is leading into Joe Biden's unpopularity, the Democrats' unpopularity right now, leftists across the world. They don't want to take accountability for their F-ups, but they expect everyone and their mama to be responsible for their F-ups, but they're just perfect, right? These leftists are like angels coming from the sky. They know what's best for us, right? Protesting a president that won the popular vote, protesting a president that is enacting policies that majority of Americans believe. We want mass deportation. That was the majority. It has the majority support. And what the leftists decide to do? Protest. Okay, we'll see. We'll see during or inauguration day. We'll see. So is this a threat to democracy? We will not go back. Go back to what? I ain't going back to Joe Biden. I'm not going back to the Democrats. That's why we voted for Trump. So what y'all talking about? Narratives, right? And then, but you're going to have Bakari Sellers here, and we'll play a clip from Trump's inauguration before I go into more of their commentary. So here's a funny kind of clip from Megyn Kelly, and then I'll continue with my commentary. Let's take a look.
Okay, speaking of J-Lo, how happy are you that her candidate lost? It's so delightful. These Hollywood celebrities who get up there and try to tell us how to vote, really? I mean, like those celebrities who know nothing about anything? All J-Lo knows about what to do is to ruin marriages. She's an expert at that. Why does she have to try to ruin the country too? So goodbye, J-Lo, it didn't work out for you. Goodbye, Meryl Streep, who showed up at that Oprah event saying, "Oh, Madam President," to Kamala Harris, "Madam President." How'd that work out? About as well as her comment that Harvey Weinstein was God. And maybe we should stop listening to her. Maybe we shouldn't be going to her for our political advice. And then you had Oprah herself. Oprah, she'll interview you if you pay her $1 million too. Yeah, so low fee of $1 million to sit down with Oprah Winfrey, apparently. That's what the Harris campaign paid her production company, she says. And for that, you know what you get? You get Oprah yelling at you, "Kamala Harris!" Why are you doing that? So calm down, madam. Didn't work out for her either. But of course, the fakest person involved on that side of the aisle was the woman at the top, Kamala Harris herself. Thank you, who pretended that she wasn't the border czar, who pretended that she was middle class, who pretended that she was smart. And the American people did not buy it. Every time you turned around, this woman was doing something faker than the last, right? Her fake Jamaican accent, her fake Eastern European accent, her fake Spanish accent. It was like spending a day at Joe Biden's southern border. Non-stop, right? We gonna win. It's not how it went, right? But my favorite was the preacher accent. "Joy cometh in the morning." And she wasn't wrong about that. It came at about 1:22 a.m. on election night, when the election was called for Donald J. Trump.
Megyn Kelly savage for that one. I ain't gonna lie. Those are some good 2 minutes, right? And it's exactly how she says. 67% of Americans ages between 18 to 29, my demographic, are optimistic about Trump's presidency, and 60% of all adults are, according to CBS polls. Look at that, right? And the fact that he saved TikTok, I think it really helps with this 18 to 29 age demographic, which is my demographic, right? But everyone's optimistic about Trump's presidency. Joy really came in the morning on 1 a.m. November 5th. But no one is happy on the left. Right? And I always talk about this. When these leftists come here trying to virtue signal, "Oh, we want to change. We want reform." Right? No, Donald Trump wants reform. Donald Trump represents reform. Donald Trump was the candidate of change. I mention this all the time. And I remember I had a leftist in my commentary saying, no way. Trump's not the candidate of change. I'm saying, how he's not the candidate of change? People want mass deportation. Is Joe Biden doing that right now? No. But Kenny, Joe Biden deported more people than Donald Trump. He let in way more people than Donald Trump. If you look at the percentages, it was still a net gain on illegals being in the country compared to Donald Trump. It was a pure net negative. Donald Trump only let around 4 million people illegally cross the border in Trump's entire administration. Joe Biden had 25 million people cross his border. 4 million people coming into your country, 25 million people coming into your country. You both of them, Donald Trump deported like 1.4 million people. Joe Biden deported like 1.5 million people. And you want to brag on the superficiality of, oh, Joe Biden deported more people. He let in more people. So it's still a net gain on illegals being in your country, straining our systems, taking resources from American citizens, making housing less affordable because now there's more demand for housing in your country because you let in 25 million people. Speaker Johnson says mass deportation plan is an excellent investment. And you have people on CNN like Christian Welker. I'm going to make a separate video on that one. But I just want to highlight it here, trying to say, how are you going to pay for it all? How are we going to pay for maintaining illegals in our country when they're costing us hundreds of billions of dollars right now? Deporting them, I guarantee you, deporting them will be less expensive than keeping them. The left don't like to talk about how expensive it is to maintain illegals into the country. But they want to complain about building the wall. They want to complain about deporting them. No. We're done with that complaining ish. We're done complaining with, and this is the problem with the left. This is why the left is unpopular. But they want to sit here and lecture everybody after they got historically mollywopped, as you saw Megyn Kelly, Joy come in the morning. For a lot of Americans, Joy came in the morning. I'm going to show you some clips from his speech because I think it's unfair to talk about Trump's pre-inauguration without actually hearing words from Trump. So let's take a quick look at some clips, and then I'll follow up with some of the commentary that the left, like Bakari Sellers, is trying to sell you guys. I guess that's why his last name is Sellers. But I digress. Let's get into the clips.
The sun sets tomorrow evening. The invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
That's what people voted for, man. Boy, Joy is going to come again in the morning.
Before even...
Here you go. Here's the Trump effect, and then we'll get into Bakari Sellers trying to sell us on his load of crap for the left.
Taking office, you are already seeing results that nobody expected to see. Everyone is calling it I don't want to say this, it's too braggadocious, but we'll say it anyway. The Trump effect. It's you're the effect. Since the election, the stock market has surged and small business optimism has soared a record 41 points to a 39-year high. Bitcoin has shattered one record high after another. The major investment company known as the Properties has announced that it will be investing between $20 and $40 billion in the United States, and SoftBank, another great company, has pledged between $100 and $200 billion. These are all investments that are only being made because of the fact that we won the election. Can create jobs for hundreds of thousands, even millions of Americans. Today I spoke with Tim Cook of Apple. He said they're going to make a massive investment in the United States because of our big election win.
And also because of the fact Apple don't want to get tariffed because Trump is creating what's the name? The External Revenue Service, the ERS, because he's tired of only Americans paying for everyone's business, but yet we're spending billions and billions of dollars for foreign aid across the world, and we're only taxing people in this country. It's time to tax people outside our country too. So I like that idea. And all these business people are getting in line. They're standing in formation, right? And this is the change that people wanted. And you got, Bakari Sellers, and I'm going to play this clip because I think it's enlightening to see how the left and their most ardent supporters are going to try to spin this stuff, because it's so baffling to me how Bakari Sellers wants to cry about narrative supremacy, and that is just a narrative that Donald Trump is trying to spin, and it's hard to crack all the lies and untruths, when the Democrats themselves seem to be the biggest pushers of lies and untruths.
I think the grave difference that Donald Trump has in terms of putting wind at his sails between now and 2016 is the positioning of conservatives in different elements of controlling the free flow of information in this country. And what I mean by that is, if you listen to Eric Erickson or many others, they've complained, and even my friend Scott here have complained about the Washington Post or the LA Times. They've complained about censoring on on Facebook, Twitter, etc. And even if you give them the benefit of that doubt and say that's true, we can disagree or whatever, now the facts are, not only do they have a Fox News juggernaut behind them, but they also have all the Sinclair local news stations. They now have talk radio, but they have X, they have Instagram, they're about to have TikTok. They're going to control the flow of information. And so that is going to be an enormous hurdle. They have the Washington Post. The Wall Street Journal is already decently conservative. They have whatever the guy out there at the LA Times and Scott's paper is doing. So, look, they have the control.
The people who work there are mostly leftists. And it's so crazy to me that even if you just have a large a following on any of these social media platforms, if you just happen to be conservative, you're enemy number one for a lot of these liberals. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to debate style, there's a reason why the left on social media, and the left do it to themselves. The left kind of exclude themselves from the public conversation because they believe they're arrogant enough to believe that, oh, we don't want to platform these right-wing talking people. Okay, and then right-wingers start talking amongst themselves. People start gravitating towards their idea. And then the left started to realize, oh, shoot, the right has some of the platform on social media, and it's not us normalizing them. They're actually supposed to be normalizing us. And the fact that for years, since 2016, a lot of these left-wing guys, when they had the platforms, when they were the one running social media, they did not want to platform right-wing content creators, right-wing speakers, right-wing. They didn't want to platform them at all. And now the roles reversed, and the Republicans and conservatives still are open to having people come to their platform. This is why I laugh at the progressives when they're making fun of Cenk Uygur coming onto TPUSA, and I understand why conservatives are mad about that, because conservatives, like, when they had the shine, right, when they had the attention on them, they didn't want to platform us, but we're allowing them to come on our events and get exposure to our audience. No, we should play the same game. This is why you get a lot of conservatives a little bit mad about Charlie Kirk having Cenk Uygur on TPS USA. But progressives, they're still so delusional, I'll say that, naive, if I'm being nice, that they still think that they're running stuff. They think they're the popular ones. You're not the popular ones. Around the world, no one's liking leftists right now. Yet they're still walking on with this bravado, like they still stand for the people. What lies they tell themselves. I digress. Let's continue with the video.
Control of the flow of information, which is different than 2016, that's going to be intriguing in terms of the way Americans receive what's happening in D.C.
So the difference between the left and the right as it relates to censorship and the free flow of information is this. We're not interested in controlling things for the purpose of pushing narratives. We're interested in the free flow of information for the purpose of defending free speech and allowing people to have full access to everything. The great complaint of conservatives over the years has been that the American people worldwide, have had restrictions put on what they were allowed to see, what they were allowed to know, and that narratives were more important than facts. And one of the reasons he won this election, Donald Trump, is because we got out of the narrative business in this country and we got into the information business. The defense of free speech, the promotion of free speech is really the defense and the promotion of Western civilization.
Exactly.
And it's important here and it's important around the world. So all these things you just mentioned about who controls what, it's not about control. It's about transparency and honesty and truth over narrative.
And that's all, end of the day, that's all you can really ask for out of a politician. Transparency, right? And the truth. Even if you don't like what they like to hear, hey, we want Greenland because it's a strategic location for us to prevent China from doing this. Honesty. People, this is why Trump wins. People understand, okay, I get what you're trying to say, Donald Trump. Donald Trump say, hey, we kind of don't like these guys, okay? Hey, NATO, we want to get out of NATO because NATO's taking advantage of us. We're paying almost half the cost. We're matching them. And all the individual countries in NATO, we contribute more than all of them damn near combined. And we're the one least at risk of an invasion from Russia. Why are we paying the most if we're the least at risk for Russia? We're being taken advantage of. I see your point, Mr. President Donald Trump. I think we understand why you want to pull out of NATO. But what Democrats do? Oh, he want Russia to invade these countries. Narrative. That's a narrative game. While Trump is playing I'm just telling you how I'm thinking about this game. And that's what they don't like about Trump. Trump openly discussed things that he's thinking about on top of his head. And that's why people feel so much trusting of Donald Trump compared to these other politicians. And you got Bakari here selling a load of crap to us. This is all the left got. I'll let the video play out and then I'll wrap up.
And that's what we're all
But
about.
I think that what we're going to see, I mean, I have a hard time digesting when you say truth, for example, because what we see is a bastion of anti-intellectualism and a bastion of disinformation. I mean, Jeff Bezos, for example, has stripped the Washington Post.
Disinformation.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to,
you mean like, oh, the president is fit for office? You mean disinformation like that? Or are you talking about
well, I
something
mean,
else?
I'm interested to see the way they cover an 80-year-old president in a year and a half in terms of
How'd
Donald
they
Trump.
cover the last one?
They didn't do a good job. I think we've recognized
Good
that.
point.
So maybe we can learn from that.
Yeah, now you want to learn from that. Okay. I'll leave it off there. I don't want to make this a too long of a video, but I'm looking forward to the inauguration. I'm trying to make up for my live stream that I missed on Friday. I had a lot going on, guys, so I might try to live stream the inauguration. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know if I decide to fall through with the idea. But for now, I'll have more videos coming up throughout, periodically throughout the day. I appreciate you guys watching the end of the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you really enjoyed it. I really want to try to grow engagement on this channel. So I appreciate everything you do. Thank you for guys for watching, and let's hope for the best next 4 years.